Your lesson essential question is, how do I use character responses to events and challenges to determine the central message of a story? So yesterday we had the same lesson essential question. We talked about central message, how central message means the lesson or the moral of the story. And we talked about how characters respond through their thoughts, words, feelings, and actions. So today we're going to read an actual story and we're going to identify the central message together. Then you'll do a discussion post and you'll talk about one action from the characters that led us to the central message. And then tomorrow we'll read even more in depth with the story and we'll talk about those characters' responses throughout the entire story. So you remember, characters respond to events and challenges throughout stories and they often learn a lesson. We call the lesson a moral or central message. So you know that we identify the problem at the beginning. We talk about how the characters respond, and then we identify the solution and, of course, the central message. So we're really going to look at those thoughts, words, feelings, and actions of the characters. This story is called The Girl and the Apples. One fall afternoon, a girl went to a farm to pick apples. She was in a hurry, so she picked carelessly both ripe apples and unripe ones. When she finished, her wagon was filled with a small mountain of apples. So before we go any further, take a second and identify who this story is about. Who is our main character? All right, so there's a girl as our main character. And what's the setting of our story? She's on a farm. So she's on a farm where there's apples. All right, so the girl asked the farmer, "Quick, quick, tell me how long you think it will take me to get home." The farmer thought carefully. Then he said, "Be patient. If you go slowly, you will be back soon. If you go fast, you will not get back until night. It's your choice." So the girl has a problem. What's her problem? She needs to get home, right? The girl thought, "How can that be? How can it take so long if I go fast?" The girl wanted to get back home as soon as possible, so she rushed her horse and wagon onto the road. She made her horse walk very fast, and suddenly, bump, off fell some apples. Every time she hit a bump, more apples rolled off her wagon. Then she had to stop and put them back on the wagon. Because of all the delays, it was night before she got home. So I think this little girl can learn a lesson from her actions. The farmer tells her to slow down, but what does she do? She doesn't slow down. She keeps going fast, and because of her actions, more events happen that cause problems for her. We're going to talk more about those problems tomorrow, but let's think about what can be learned from this little girl in The Girl and the Apples. Take a second and think about it. So we can learn that hurrying too much can actually waste time. So she wasn't being careful. And I like to think about when I was in school and I was doing an assignment. If I hurried up really, really fast and tried to get my multiplication problems done, I made mistakes and I had to go back and do it all over again. Or when I was writing, if I hurried, I had to go back and do it all over again. So it ended up wasting time and taking longer than it was supposed to. So this is a really good lesson. Tomorrow we're going to really dig into this story and identify some of those key details that helped us identify this central message. But today you're going to be looking for just one key detail in your discussion post.